Hey, don't mind me. Just gone fishing. That's how it is sometimes. Taking a blast back with Bryce Booker's Mysteries Under Lake Ophelia. I've already looked at one of Bryce's previous games, Betula. Yeah, I still don't know how to pronounce it. It's a good time though. Give it a spin sometime. I've been meaning to start covering games of the retro PS1 variety, modern and classic. Missed a lot of the big hitters people talk about. I've been thinking about trying the Spyro series sometime. I was listening to the music, it's good stuff. Think anyone want to watch that though? Yeah, I guess I don't know anything. Just cast my line, float, and wait for someone to snap at me. I'm just here to chill out and relax. 'Cause that's what this is. Just a nice game to cool it to. Wait. This isn't a horror game, is it? This is just a fun, relaxed game, alright? Tyrophobia? You got me effed up with that one. Flashing lights? For real? Thalassophobia. How about that? Afraid of the depths? Whole new world down there. If out there is outer space, then I guess the ocean world would be inner space, huh? Not much of a water monster myself. I'm surprised I'm not afraid of water. Or, well, the ocean. I mean, I am a pluviophile. Hey, calm down. I know I said phile, but that doesn't mean it's illegal. I just like the rain. Maybe a bit too much. Can't control myself to not go outside when it's raining. Quite an odd thing. But I guess I can't control myself in general, hey? Anyways, water, right? Yeah, I'm surprised I don't have a fear of it. I remember when I was a lot smaller, was swimming all out by myself, not a care in the world. Hell, I had real emotions back then, so I was probably smiling and laughing. Got the rug pulled under me though. Tide sucked me in. Maybe I'd be afraid of the water if I remembered anything about it. Whenever I try to think about that time, all that comes to me is the colors of pure black and deep blue. Nothing else. I guess I can remember how it felt. Kinda hopeless. I accepted death fast. Oh, I remember that there was no lifeguards. That's just how it was in that area. All there was just a Samaritan with a sharp eye. Maybe good people do exist, huh? But sometimes I think back, I wonder what would have happened if nobody paid attention that day. If I was set free. Who knows? Maybe that would have been better. Hey, gonna cast a line or what? Not a fan of fishing? Hey, neither am I. I don't really like messing with nature like that. But fishing is a common thing in video games. Tons of games love to include fishing minigames. Really, it's a thing. Ever play a game with one of those? There may be more fishing minigames out there than actual fishing games. I guess that's just how the saying goes. There's plenty of fishing minigames in the sea. I think it's pretty neat that games can exist to make any activity, no matter how mundane, fun. Games can be about anything. There's not always a need to follow the trendsetters in the modern design docs, because everyone's got their own rules on game designs and how to shape a game. That's the stuff that ultimately makes games unique, and the stuff that ultimately gets stripped away when the number behind games increase. Have to follow some scientific formula on how to keep players engaged and addicted, target the right parts to get their money. That stuff's dull. Too crowded and noisy. So that's why I like coming out here. It's peaceful, pleasant, fresh. Tons of fun stuff to find. Not too many people out here compared to the beaches. But I guess that's what makes it special. It hasn't been corrupted or polluted yet. And what I can find here is unique. It's not like the stuff out there. What? Yeah. Of course I'm still talking about video games. Mysteries Under Lake Ophelia. Released in October 2021, comes another game in the style of classic PS1 games by Bryce Bucher. Trust me, I want to look at more of these by other people. There's quite a lot out there. I probably don't need to give my whole spiel on how I love the PS1 games and the overall aesthetic to it, from the kind of music in them, the fresh new 3D graphics moving around these landscapes of warped textures. Even that gradient, colorful, bubbly font, I swear, is just as important to the aesthetic. But it was a wild time. Nobody knew what they were doing, and what it resulted in is a lot of unique takes on how to handle 3D graphics, and a lot of game spaces that have kind of been cemented into time as its own thing. Even 2D sprite games had their own style to them at the time, and the mixing of both, whether it be 2D characters on 3D backgrounds or vice versa, was such a joy to see. I guess it can be said that a lot of these games haven't aged well visually, which makes it nice when there are remakes out there. But I don't know. Sure, these remakes look prettier, but do they look as interesting? As I said before, I can go out and see something realistic, but this is something I can only see in a video game. There's an appeal to both, of course, seeing fantastical things in realistic graphics, but my preference is obvious. Okay, I'm ranting. Let's get to the game, shall we? Let's talk about mysteries under Lake Ophelia. The game starts with our main character chilling out by their tent, dripped up and ready to fish up some fish. Yeah, no dialogue, no intro cutscene, nothing. One button and I'm in. I know I don't care too much for talking about graphics unless they're killing my eyes, but I'm gonna be honest, this game is beautiful. I think I mentioned this in the Fatum Betula video, but there's really only one map on this game, and what this allowed is a huge focus on just this one area being as pretty as possible. It feels as if wherever I point the camera, it just creates this beautiful image. This is added on by the day and night system. It forms this area I just enjoy being in. I love this stuff. There will be a space in my mind dedicated to this lake. Even now, after beating this game like a month ago, I still have that area mapped out. Everything is still well placed. The high cliff, the butterflies, the tree stump. A real special shout out goes to the cave area, especially at night. Y'all have to check this. Incredible. And the music that plays only under this criteria is great also. The music was composed by Simone Peltier, who also did the music I enjoyed for Fatum Betula. Some real chill ambience and guitar pieces. I'm kinda sad that the soundtrack doesn't exist anywhere online at the moment, but it's some great stuff. What makes it special is that most of the time, there isn't music. A lot of this game is just ambience. The sound of the water, and the birds in the distance. It crafts such a mood to be breathed. It makes me reflect upon a question I had a while ago. Imagine being completely alone on a wide, expansive beach, just sitting in the middle of it all. Not a sound or sight of another person. Would that be scary? Or peaceful? I lean towards the latter, but sometimes I do shift to the former, and that's how I felt walking around this lake. Comforting, chill, but always a reminder that I'm alone. It's a very personal thing to be experienced alone. I really got to breathe in the air of this place over the course of the game. I really like the detail of how the music sort of fades out the deeper you go into the water. Like, it really made me feel like I was there, that I was playing as the lure, and that brought some interesting feelings. Definitely a great game for the headphones users. Yeah, I see y'all. So, fishing, huh? How does it work? What's the goal of this game anyways? Well, Calm down, Buster. Let's get to the gameplay. Holy crap, am I actually about to talk about controls in a video? God, this never happens. I can separate controls into travel mode and fishing mode, and all the controls can be rebindable. Movement is done with the D-pad or analog stick. It's pretty easy to tell which one I'm using. I prefer D-pad, but my controller I like using doesn't work for Unity games. L. Right stick is used for camera control, which is always fun getting these dynamic shots while fishing. Square or L2 is used for running. Triangle for menu, and while in the menu, cross is for selecting different fishing items, and circles to cancel out. Back in the overworld, R1 is used to enter aim mode, where the right stick must be used to aim the fishing cursor. Release R1 to cast a line. Now let's enter the main meat of this gameplay. Fishing. It's pretty fun. So ideally, the line gets casted out towards a fish. Pressing R1 reels the line in. Tapping it a bit can help get the attention of fish. They love that stuff. It's never explained how to fish correctly. It's just something the player learns, and I think that's cool. Basically, once a fish has been grabbed, it's time to reel it in. If y'all think it's as simple as holding R1, then stick to the small ponds. Y'all aren't ready for the big game. Let me give y'all the gamer tips. At certain intervals, fish will wiggle. At that point, players need to stop reeling or the line will break. The sound effects used here really helps convey this, and it's how I ended up understanding this on my own. However, once you all get good at it, it is still possible to get a little greedy and tap the reel even during the shake phases. It's arguably necessary on some of the harder fishes. Like, some of these fishes feel like honest to god boss fights, and what a fun battle it is to finally get them. The final action, which I didn't know until like halfway through the game, is that it's actually possible to cancel the line cast instantly. Like, I was out here playing this game of reeling it back to the character, but being careful not to reel it back too fast or it'll just go flying behind me. For what it's worth, I thought this was kind of engaging on its own. So y'all might be wondering, what's the point of catching fish? And well, geez, what's the point of playing games, huh? Having fun. Ever think about that? Nah, I'm just messing. There is a use for fish. Some random merchant person ends up moving in. I honestly don't know why they're here, where they came from, or who they are, but I do know they got a clean fit. Basically, this is where we go to sell our fish, which money can be used to buy new lures and rods. Newer rods increase the distance the player can cast, while lures have some stats to consider. There's a game to picking the right lure for the right situation. It's not just an upgrade to move on from, it's an arsenal to consider. Firstly, lures have different depths. Being able to progress and explore deeper in the water is always such a good feeling. But when it comes to fishing in shallow water, the fish aren't going to notice if the lure's just stuck to the bottom. Ones with lower number depths can be perfect for these kind of fish. I was a real fan of the raccoon one from Vatum Betula, just because of how attractive it is. And I know what y'all are thinking, Spacey, what the hell did you just say? Are you on your furry stuff? And calm down, buddy. I'm talking attractive as in the other parameter to a lure, attractiveness. Think of lures having a grid aura around them that will get noticed by a fish when they're in that aura. With a higher lure's attractiveness, the bigger that aura is. So needless to say, all the fish love that raccoon. The fishing gameplay is probably pretty simple compared to other fishing games, but I find it engaging for the length of the game. However, I still want to see how it compares to fishing in other games. Now, I didn't go on some grand journey here, I just played what I had on hand, just some quick things I could boot up and see what I could do with. And I think I kind of got the idea throughout this small handful. Also, yes, my computer can't run games for garbage. And you'll wonder why I look at these less intensive stuff like RPG Maker games, and even those lag too.
It's a bitch.
But anyways, it's fun that it gave me an excuse to try Sega bass fishing. I didn't know what I was doing at first, but once I found the reel button, well, let's just say I was looking like a real legend.
This one's huge!
But I guess the two things I denoted from these games that I think make up a lot of fishing games is timing and that tug of war sensation. Timing being that patient wait for the action, whether it be waiting for the fish to bite or waiting between reels. But then of course the tug of war nature, the I'm losing, I got you, I'm losing it, which makes out these battles that can last quite a number of time. And not to say that there's criteria to making a fishing game good or something like that, but it is to say that Lake Ophelia ends up having both of these aspects being represented, and I enjoy how easy it is in terms of fish noticing the bait and going for it. Adds to that relaxing atmosphere, because I swear the fish in Sega bass fishing just hated me. Like, they did not care. I was out here throwing the bait and they would just look at it like, bruh, are you stupid? But with all I'm saying, I think it's pretty fruitless to continue making comparisons to Sega bass fishing, because Lake Ophelia isn't just a fishing game. Being able to move around freely and explore this lake is a huge factor to the gameplay too. Here's the point I wanted to talk about the most. Get ready for fantastic. This game brought me a feeling that I haven't felt in a very long time. That sense of mystery and exploration. This may sound silly considering this game is just one relatively small map, but it's packed with secrets. I miss when games were like this, where the player could discover and think out of the box on their own volition. The game never outright tells you about any of this, but it's so exciting to see things such as an item at the bottom of this area here, and being able to snag it once I get a better lure. I don't want to spoil the location of a lot of these secrets, but all I can say is that once y'all figure out that the lure is a second camera, that's when things open up. And I cannot bring myself to tell y'all any more than that. Lake Ophelia has that gameplay I feel like has been kind of lost to time. Nowadays I'd imagine modern players asking what to do or where to go. But that's the thing. The player is never told how to get the ending. They aren't told what the goal of this game is. They start the game and the character stands there. No dialogue or nothing. They figure out the rest. They figure out how to beat the game. And in an age of constant hand-holding and guides, people having to look up every small aspect of a game, arguably leading to a modern-day player base of people who are too afraid to make their own choices and decisions. What a breath of fresh air that this is. This is what leads to each player having their own unique experiences, finding these items in their own order, and allowing themselves to fantasize and wonder upon the world. Like, ooh, these butterflies? I bet there's something up with them. Or just the mystery and anticipation of finally being able to go to the deeper depths. What's down there? This is the stuff that kid me loved. Being able to care and imagine with this world. This is what made game worlds feel alive. Being able to interact and communicate with them, understand them. But let's calm down. Some of the items that can be found are actually lures. Even some referencing other games, such as the raccoon from Photon Betula. Oh hey, look at that. It's like I just looked at this game. Though I'll admit, there are some I just don't know. Like, don't hate me, but I'm just not a gamer. I know. I'm sorry I can't tell y'all what the hell this thing is. I need to get more in the PS1 scene, I suppose. Anywho, I guess I should mention stuff I don't really care for when it comes to this game, but it's interesting in the way that it's stuff I can completely avoid, so it kinda didn't affect me. Fish have another use outside of selling. They can be cooked to increase luck, which I'm not sure if that actually does anything. It kinda seems like a waste, more in the way that there's never a moment where I desired or felt like I needed luck. What it could affect is rare fish, which is another thing I didn't really care for. I didn't end up getting any of them because they never showed up, so I never got to fill out the fish logbook fully, and honestly, I'm good on that. But it's cool that it exists. Some people probably got a real surprise from some of these hidden fish. I don't know, maybe it would have been cooler if there was like special conditions that would spawn them. Maybe not on the level of circling a shack or some dick for a moon to appear like wherever the hell Fatum Betula was on, but something that can get people together to figure out a, well, mystery. And who knows, maybe there is more to this game that's still hidden, and that's just not something we can find out until it's found out. The last thing that does irk me, and I can't avoid, is the day and night cycle. It's only possible to sleep during nighttime, which doing so resets the fish, so if the player can't get their hands on any fish, sleeping will respawn them back into the lake. There's also just sort of a creepy feeling about being out at night alone. Made me want to get back to the campfire a little quicker. Though, why should I be scared? This isn't a horror game, right? Why are people calling this a horror game? This isn't a horror game, come on. Regardless, our problem with the day and night cycle is I just don't like that there isn't any way to pause the game. Like, I can pause, I can bring up the menu, but time still goes on. I know it ultimately means nothing, but it still sucks when I miss out on sleeping, which can only be done at night, because I had to quickly do something. Maybe it's a rare situation, but I just don't like the kind of stressful feeling when games don't give me any option to pause them. It's a weird me thing. Like, when I'm watching someone play a game, and they like go for a break and they don't pause the game, like, buddy, I gotta get out. Speaking of weird things, I guess I should talk about the ending, but also not really. It might be interesting for you all to stop and go play the game now if any of y'all are interested. I won't show the ending, but there is some talk about the ending, and having knowledge on what that is would give any of y'all a lot more value to the conversation. So, with the platform settled, I'll step upon it. I thought the ending was neat. I mean, this game isn't very long. Like, it took me like 3 hours, and I was AFK for a bit of it. I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, the tyrophobia crap got activated, and I don't know if tyrophobia is a real thing, but whenever I see anything involving it just ruins my day. Like, I can't describe it, but the imagery just stays on my mind, and it just upsets me for the rest of my day. It just makes my day worse. But hey, the warning was there. I like the build-up of the ending. I could definitely feel some tension rising as I watched this angel lure descend into the depths. Might even have brought out a little fear to me, which is strange, right? Because it's not like this is a horror game or anything. Why would I... Wait, what's that? Oh, that's just my friend. About time they show up. They're pretty chill. Y'all will love them. Back to the ending though. The response from others I've seen is a bit different. I've seen a lot of people complain about the ending, and by a lot, I mean people who watched someone else play the game and said they didn't like it. So in other words, not real people. My mistake, really. I typically don't find myself in these corners of the internet, but sometimes I click wrong and I get the impact. But still, some of these are words from people who actually have played the game. They complain as well. And I don't know. Just hearing all these reviews make me feel like people have really been poisoned by modern gaming. I know, I've been booming all video, just hear me out. These people think that every game needs to be some 20-hour epic with expansive world and lore. That games need to have some big, bombastic ending, just like every other game. That every little thing needs to be spoon-fed towards them. That everything needs to make sense. What happened to thinking for yourself? Why can't games be small? Why can't games be mysterious? This is called Mystery Under Lake Ophelia. The idea is that it's a mystery. Like, what's the canon explanation for the ending? Who the hell cares? Stop looking up ending explained for every piece of media. Tell me what you all personally thought from this experience, what that ending meant. You all need to tell me the mystery under Lake Ophelia. I can't help but feel like if this game came out earlier, like a decade earlier, maybe in the time of the style that it's replicating, people would talk to this day about the ending and what it meant, how they interpreted, and the artistic vision behind it. Yeah, sure, this isn't going to be a game that has some big set piece moment I'll think about for the rest of my life, but not every game needs to. There's no specific way to make a game, and y'all can say you didn't like a game because it doesn't play out how you wanted it to, but you can't say it's bad. What happened to creativity and identity? And I suppose that's the sign that Mystery Under Lake Ophelia is special, that it does stand out, because a lot of people don't like it for being different. Bryce didn't make a game to win Game of the Year. Bryce didn't make a game that was going to hit the top charts and be remembered for years to come. Bryce made a game that they wanted to make. A game for a niche audience with a unique aesthetic. A fun little game that we can all play, come around in a circle, and discuss. And if y'all can't find enjoyment out of that, well, then I pity you. Okay, calm down, Spacey. Your passion is there, but it's looking a little toxic. I guess thinking about this all is maybe reflect on why and what makes games special to me. And I think it's different, like a per game basis. Like sometimes I'm really about the gameplay, like that's what I do. I talk about the gameplay incoherently for like an hour. But I guess in general, it's just being able to explore and put myself in a world. I always see games as pieces of art that can be explored, and I really mean that in the vaguest sense. And what makes indie games special to me is that a lot of the time, they have their own ideas and vision of the small group of people or person that made them. That's always going to be the part that's special to me, what I value. I mean, that's just because I'm not able to play any of the new AAA ultra graphic character coming on my screen to choke me out type graphics. But I think even since I was younger, I always had a fascination in the kind of world and moods that can be felt through these worlds. I guess that's a pretty weird way to see games, but that's just how it is for me. This world sucks ass, so I'll enjoy nearly any time I'm allowed to escape to a different one, cause a lot of time it ends up being a lot cooler. This is what allows me to view games as their own individual things. Like, I don't care about the genre, I don't care about what engine it was made in. The only expectation I have going into a game is that I'm going to have fun, or at least see the vision of the creators and find the things that I can enjoy from that, and at the very least be able to go to a world that I enjoy being in. And honestly, I think it's great that I can experience all these niche titles and be able to see all these cool ideas and the fun with games that challenge me in unique ways. I don't let a single game change my worldview on how every game should be made. Mysteries Under Lake Ophelia gave me a unique way to have fun and experience the world, and that's all I really want. I guess the message is simple: play games, have fun. There's no need to be closed-minded on games. It's a form of art, expression. It's open to be anything, and that's what makes it cool. I suppose by now I'm sort of just ranting on pointless stuff, so I'll wrap things up, okay?
Who's next? Who's next? You? Come on, don't even try to swing at me, cause you're done.
Mysteries Under Lake Ophelia brings me back to that kind of joy I get from experiencing something for the first time. Being able to explore and understand a game with little to no guidance. a game that has faith in players to figure it all out. And I like games that have that kind of respect towards the player. Would the game be better if it was some 30-hour game with a deep mystery revolving around multiple lakes, 500 different lures, a bunch of filler stuff, and I guess throw voice acting on that too? I don't know. Maybe. That's a completely different game, homie. This one's pretty fine as it is. From what I've experienced on Bryce's games, I mean, I've only played 2, but shut up. They're always just these short little experiences based around the player's curiosity and willingness to want to understand and play the game. And I find that to be fascinatingly refreshing. So, how about y'all crank that reel and give this game a spin? I don't know fishing crap, so that probably didn't make sense. But play this game if y'all want. It's a short, nice experience that doesn't want to waste the player's time and wants to show them some cool stuff. It goes against the grain to do its own thing and asks the player if they want to try something different from what they're used to. This isn't the kind of game I can really show how cool it is without spoiling the thing that makes it cool, if that makes sense. Because the cool part is something that just has to be personally experienced. And if that sounds neat, well, check the description. I guess it's time to finish up for the day. I think I'm gonna head back to my tent for the night and get some rest. Because I know when I wake back up, there's gonna be a lot of new stuff back to find. Hey, the return! It's post-credit Spacey! Yes, put the pen and paper down, Buster. My autograph is cursed. The ending took a bit of an interesting turn. Quite a passionate burst, but emotional cohesion isn't something I'd use to describe me or my videos. Like, even as I read this line, I couldn't help but feel rather emotionless. Like, this is what I mean when I say that I record an entire video and then I just delete the entire script because, well, I just wasn't in the right mood to inflect the right voices that I wanted to do at the time. And even though this is probably going to be the final script I use, I still don't really like how I did the voicing. Like, some days I just can't do certain voices. Maybe some hours, really. And that's just how it is. I could wait the next day to see if I'm in a better mood. Man, I don't fucking care. Like, come on, we gotta get going, you know? Speaking of that, I've been using the word y'all for a bit. And I don't know, maybe I should just say you? Like I did because I read somewhere that that's how to refer to like plural people. But I don't know, does saying you kind of just imply everyone? Especially in this context? Like, yeah, in my earlier videos I probably really was talking to like one person, but it's different now. Any plural homies in chat, y'all gotta let me know. I'm not trying to leave people out. And maybe my dialogue has gotten a tad more unique now that I don't constantly use the word you, rather using things such as y'all or the players. But I don't know, maybe it sounds awkward that I keep saying y'all, maybe it sounds forced, but if it's going to allow me to include more people in my videos, then I don't really give a damn. I'm going to say y'all then. So let me all know if y'all are chilling. Anywho, this video length was kinda short. Even I was like, wait, we're wrapping up already? It feels odd, but kinda refreshing. I don't enjoy making long videos, but I always have a lot to say. I'd probably prefer to make videos of this length, but I also cut things short because this game is kinda more about the experience the players have rather than anything I can do, like a deep gameplay analysis or a story review on. It's just not that kind of game. And going into detail on all the cool moments that this game delivers by digging in it wouldn't really give y'all the same feeling that I got from playing it. It'd just be an empty spoiler. Also, I'm just trying my best to get stuff done, trying to juggle video work, my game, my life, my life, get a load of that. And playing games in general can be rough. Time just doesn't feel as long as it used to, but maybe it's best if I just don't think too hard about it. I've been doing my best, for someone as broken as me, to try and put things together and make every moment count. But yeah, I want to cover more of these PS1 games and the like, but I just don't know how well I can run them. And after the SRB 2K video, I kind of want to make sure my videos are at least watchable before I release them. I know, wild expectation. Like, it's one thing to waste my time, but when I waste other people's time with low quality trash, how dare I? Anywho, y'all know how it is. Just gonna play and look at whatever I want. Don't care what genre, don't care what engine. I just don't see games like that. So, I guess y'all can be glad I didn't look at another RPG Maker game, but I don't know. That's just not how I see it. But at least different gameplay genres do make my dialogue more unique. Constant looks at RPGs can make my videos feel a bit repetitive with the constant reusage of terminology. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the video. I mean, if y'all made it this far and you didn't, well, damn, that sucks. Alright, I'm out of here.